Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. So great to have you here with us. So great to have you live streaming with us and outside. We've got the Joyful Hearts Choir here today. Yay! And our leader, Sandra. Please rise in body or spirit. Join us in singing. Shalom. Shalom. Say it wrong. Peace. Salam. Shalom. Peace. Salam. Shalom. Peace. Salam. Shalom. Keep it going. Peace. Salam. Shalom. We are choosing peace. Peace. Shalom. We are choosing peace. Shalom. We are choosing peace. I see divine in you. I know divine in me. I see the light in you. I feel the light in me. Humanity, diversity, equality in you and me. We are feeling peace. We are knowing peace. We are living peace. We are being peace. Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Peace, salam,
It's so wonderful to have our choir. We really enjoy your music. It just makes such a difference. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. I'm Carolyn Jansen.
And my name is Carl. I'm glad to see everybody here on this Pride Month, opening Sunday of Pride Month.
Yeah. And we want to greet and bless all of you that are online. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your presence adds so much to our service. Thank you. And today is Birthday Sunday. All of you that have a birthday in June, please stand.
Oh boy, both of
Oh, wow.
the two to lose.
The Deleuze and Eileen and Yolanda. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. And please join us in welcoming our Unity Joyful Hearts Choir. Directed by Sandra Peter. Accompanied by Nathaniel and Tyler on the keyboards. Dusty on bass and Scott on drums. And Lisa is our Unity song leader today. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your music with us.
We've got another drummer. Did you say Scott?
Yes.
I did. I did. I'm glad you were listening, though, David. Yeah.
Pay attention, David. We're rolling along.
I always like to say, in our very own, Lisa and Tyler.
Okay. Today, Reverend Kristen will deliver the message titled Rainbow Sightings and Pots of Gold.
Sounds like a bit of Irish.
Irish charms.
Before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silent so that we can enjoy our sacred time together. Also, now that summer is upon us, we ask everyone to be mindful of your animals' well-beings. So please refrain from leaving your pets in the car during Sunday services.
And I add any time during this time of year, because cars get hot real fast.
They do. And it may be more comfortable for them if you actually left them at home on warm days.
Now let's take a moment to be grateful for the land our center rests upon. This is Bay Miwok and Ohlone land.
We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of today, and we're grateful for those who have stewarded this land before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred grounds and Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living, and our vision for the world is, and now let's say this together, we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
And our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. And our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
Invite the ushers forward. If you're with us for the first time, welcome. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we may give you a welcome packet. All returning veterans today. Good. Well, again, if you didn't raise your hand, that's fine, and you are new, please join us over at the Welcome Center bookstore for a cup of coffee and a chance to meet us. Or we'll all be in there talking anyway.
We have connection cards that are available in the newcomer packet, but they're also in the seat pocket in front of you. And with that, there's for everyone to use. And with this card, you can submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you during the week.
You may also share feedback or request information, so please place your card along with the offering in the basket later in the service. For those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the website on the Watch Live page. We have several activities to highlight this week.
Really?
Yes, we do. Tell me about the Board of Directors.
Your Board of Directors
Trustees.
invites you to a community gathering today after services at 1:30 on the patio. And this will be a circle format to hear your questions and provide updates on our community's financial well-being and facilities, and to contribute your energy to community prayer of attraction. Just join us to get connected and engaged. Bring your own lunch to eat before or during the meeting, along with your questions, feedback, and ideas. And I think we're going to be meeting outside, is that true?
Yeah, we're going to circle up right underneath the big canopy this time.
Because you wouldn't be allowed to eat in here.
And it'll be a delightful day out there too. Would you like to expand your awareness of Spirit's presence and connect with your spiritual nature? Join us next Sunday, June the 9th, for the Heart Math Solution Workshop with our own former Reverend David MacArthur. David, yay. David will be doing the 9:30 and 11:30 services next week, and then he'll have this workshop in the afternoon. I think it's at 1:30, right?
Yeah, 1:30 to 3:30.
Reverend David will teach us how to connect with our spiritual nature through our hearts, adding more heart to our lives and experiencing its many gifts. You can save money by registering today in the bookstore or on our website. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Carol Richardson to the platform so she can tell us about our upcoming book study.
Thank you. Have you ever wondered why people are so divided over truth in religion, politics, and life?
Oh, yeah.
Please tell me yes. Have you ever, or would you really love to understand yourself and others better?
Yes.
If you answered yes, I hope you will please join me for a book study beginning Monday, that's Monday after this one, June 10th at 7 p.m. We'll meet for 7 weeks discussing my book, Truth and Illusion, The Politics of Spirituality and How One Person's Lie is Another One's Truth. This book won a silver medal in the 2018 Independent Publisher Book Awards. And the coolest thing about that is that one of the judges was a Unity minister. Well, I wasn't a member of Unity then, but heading that way now. So I'd like to invite you to join with me in a journey through the chakra system to help us understand how our chakras and the energies of the chakras enable us to access truth in either a limited or a fuller sense, and enable us to experience God, and enables and empowers our beliefs in God to grow and expand. So June 10th, please join me. Oh, and the books are supposed to be in the bookstore. Last week, the 3 copies I'd put in there were bought out. I've ordered more. Hopefully there will be more next Sunday. You can also order it on barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, but thank you.
And now, for more information on this and other events, please see our website, or you can visit the blue cover table across the patio for flyers.
Did you know that Unity offers a wide variety of weekly and monthly classes and groups? There's something happening almost every day, with groups meeting at various times to accommodate different schedules. Discover more about these events and how they can help you in your spiritual journey, facilitate healing, and connect you with like-minded individuals in our new brochure. And I'm holding it up
Oh,
now.
no, you can
There
actually
is
hold
one
it up.
here? Oh, I haven't
There we
actually had
go.
one. This is really nice. I appreciate them all being in one place so you can have it at home. Thank you. So those are available for you are they at the table back there? In the bookstore? Okay, great.
So now, as we prepare for our time of meditation, please join me in taking a conscious breath and affirming our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And now we'll begin with a poem by David Peterson, followed by music and a guided meditation, and then silence.
We all know it's Pride Month. This is called Be the Pronoun. We all watch movies. We all plant seeds. We all have desires. We all have needs. Attracted to someone in many situations. We are all basically the same, covered in clothes, combing our hair, molding, transfiguring. We are all liquid. Follow your rainbows. Reflect the pronouns. Accept who you are. Embrace who you are. Coming out as you. Whatever the gender, whatever the name, will always love you just the same. I see you becoming more yourself. They, them, he, she. Parade your manifestation, the glorified you that has always been.
All right.
This song may be familiar. Sing along if you wish. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. I invite you to think about someone you know, hold them in your heart, see their face, and sing this to them. are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Now sing it to yourself. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. One more time. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
We let the life breath of Spirit move through us now. Blessing all the aspects of our being. Our bodies, our minds, and hearts and spirits. Blessing the many faces of ourselves, the ways we show up in the world, all the roles we've taken up, all the relationships we hold. As we gaze down deeper into our being, I invite you to imagine a body of water shimmering in the light. You naturally peer into the water, seeing your reflection now. All the little sparkles on the water move the reflection about, waves. And then suddenly it becomes very still and clear. All the pieces coming together. There in the reflection you see yourself. Clear. Your eyes are clear. And as you look into your own eyes, into the deep pool of living water that is here, you have the sense that you are so much more. Perhaps this is the very face of God. I invite you, as you feel led, to jump into that pool of water. Become one with that essence that is you. bathe yourself in the divine spirit. Letting go of whatever is not me. Letting those parts drift away now down the river. Welcoming back the parts that are truly who you are. It's a place of joy, this water. A place where you feel infinite love. Welcomed, accepted exactly as you are. I invite you to swim in these waters in the silence. Become aware of sounds around us above the surface of the water. Come back up into the light of day. What do we hear but cheers and applause? There's people all around the banks of this body of water now. As we come out onto the bank ourselves and look around, people of all shapes and sizes and colors and gender expressions, cheering for the wholeness that we found. And as we look around the diversity, we see beauty. Feel the love of the one. And so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. please join me. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
You all sound like pros. 6 weeks of rehearsal, and they sound like pros. That's amazing. Yeah. I get to stand up here with a bunch of angels behind me, sing like angels. So you know what happens after the rains? Rainbows! Very good. You're quick. We had like about 5 different options at 9:30 before we got there. But don't tell them I said that. Have you seen a rainbow lately? Anybody seen one lately? Yeah. You know what it's like when we see a rainbow? You know that feeling? Like, it's like, oh, there's a rainbow. There's that joy, there's that delight, sort of childlike. It seems to happen to all of us, doesn't it? And there's, just the beauty of it and the mystery of it, the translucence, the changing colors. Where does it end? Have you ever chased a rainbow? Looked for the pot of gold? Anybody have any luck? Got close? Yeah, it's always close, right? So today, we're going to chase rainbows, spot rainbows, chase them, and find pots of gold. Does that sound like fun? All right, good, we're in. So you've probably seen this rainbow before. It's the rainbow flag that is used for pride. This is called the Progress Pride flag. The one in 1978 that was created just had the colors, not this triangle that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Had 8 colors, but they ran out of fabric colors, and so it got whittled down to 6. But the colors are, the red is for life, the orange is for healing, the yellow is for sunlight, the green is for nature, the blue is for serenity, and the purple is for spirit. And it was created by Gilbert Baker, who was asked at the urging of Harvey Milk to make this in 1978. Anybody ever heard of Harvey Milk? Whoa! Ask that question around San Francisco, right? You get a room full of hands. If you don't know, he was actually one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States. He served on the Board of Supervisors and was a big advocate for gay rights in San Francisco. And so it was in 1978, the same year that he was assassinated, sadly, that he asked Gilbert Baker to make this flag. So it also kind of carries that with it as well. And he didn't ask him to make a flag, he asked him to make a symbol for gay pride. And this is what Gilbert Baker came up with. But what he came up with did not include this part, which was created by someone else in 2018, Daniel Quasar. And this is about where we are now in our progress. This is about what we have yet to work on. And so the triangle and the arrow is actually pointing toward our progress. And where are the areas that we really have to work more on, where there's still a lot of prejudice and discrimination, is these 3 that are about being non-binary or transgender. So the term cisgender means I'm male or female, I fit into a category, and that's how I identify. Transgender means, I might be shifting my gender. And non-binary is like, I'm gender fluid. I'm not saying I'm male or female. I'm not fitting into one of those areas. The brown and the black represent people of color who have often been discriminated within the LGBTQ community. So that's our forward progression and the current Progress Pride flag. And we'll have this flying somewhere on our property throughout Pride. So the word pride is interesting, and it was chosen specifically for a reason. And that reason is because it counters the word shame. So anyone, of course, can feel shame, right? Probably if you're a human being walking about the earth, you have felt shame at some point in your life. It is so much a shadowy kind of feeling that a lot of us will say, oh no, I don't feel shame, right? Because nobody wants to feel that way. Because shame has with it a belief that says, there's something wrong with me, right? That I'm not okay, essentially. Those two live together. The social science researcher Brene Brown says this, she does a lot of work around shame. She said, if you put shame into a petri dish, it needs 3 things to grow exponentially. secrecy, silence, and judgment. And if you think about those three, the secrecy, keeping secrets about ourselves, right, being in the closet, so to speak, about something, not wanting to break silence, perhaps on the behalf of others because we're afraid. But what are we afraid of? That third one, judgment, really is what everything arises from, right? We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of being ostracized. And so this idea of shame, living with the shadowy belief, I'm not worthy, is what kind of stirs up all this stuff. And judgment is there, kind of behind it all, if you will. So part of what this insidious shame in its growing petri dish is all about is our desire to belong. And a lot of times we get this misperception of what belonging is, and we think belonging is fitting in. But belonging isn't necessarily about fitting in. Belonging is just being a part of, right? Being welcomed, to be a part of something, to be a part of a community. It doesn't necessarily require us to give over ourselves, but a lot of times that's how it's perceived or understood, or what we fear, the judgment. So we start to hide or to suppress certain parts of ourselves then to fit in. Anybody relate to this? Anybody ever done this in your life? Anybody been to 7th grade? In my early career, I worked for a place called the Teachers Academy for Math and Science, and it was a really exciting place for me to work. In fact, I campaigned for that job for a year, and I was so excited when I landed it because to me, it was this mix. It was being part of the Chicago school reform movement, which was really alive at the time, so that felt exciting, and I liked the mission, and then we were teaching cutting-edge methods for teachers so that kids were getting, really getting excited about subjects that they normally didn't, math and science. But what I think I probably liked the most about the place I worked was that it was the most racially diverse team that you could ever imagine of coworkers. And I think there was like probably well over 100 of us. And it was so fun to work together because we always came up with better ideas. Because of the diverse backgrounds, because of the diverse experiences, we always came up with richer ideas and experiences and possibilities for people. Plus, we just had a lot of fun together. So it's interesting that I was so excited about this rich, diverse environment, and at the same time, I was exploring and expressing and coming into a part of myself that was new. I was in my first relationship with a woman. But I feared so much losing the things I loved, or losing people I loved, or losing this workplace perhaps that I loved, that I kept it a secret. And that secret was just harboring in very uncomfortable ways. Like, for example, when naturally my coworkers and I were having lunch and somebody would start talking about dating or marriage, and I would start to get really uncomfortable. And I'd change the subject, or I'd just wiggle in my chair, or I'd get up to get a drink of water, whatever I could do to avoid that topic. And so I lived with this secret for 2 years in this relationship before I told my childhood friends, my family, or my coworkers. And then one day, something switched. It was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live as a house divided anymore. I can't hide my joy or hide my relationship or hide this part of myself anymore. And so I began one by one telling people, and guess what? Nothing blew up. Nothing got destroyed. Nobody stopped loving me even. People were disappointed, some family members were disappointed, but we worked through that in time, I think, I hope, I don't know. Let's say we did, yeah, because this is really all about coming into ourselves, right? So, ultimately, I don't mean this in a callous way, it doesn't matter. Because we need to be sovereign within who we are, and that's actually where we're headed. So I know much worse has happened to many people Many people have taken much greater risks to come out in whatever way. And when I say come out, I don't just mean LGBTQ. I mean come out, right? In whatever ways that you might be the keeper of a secret about yourself. In whatever ways you may have something that's sort of spinning around in that space of shame and the belief of not worthy. And so we want to move to that place. And what happens in that moment when we wake up, when we recognize or we say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I can't be this way anymore. I can't be divided, or I can't feel tight and confined, or I can't keep keeping myself small or limited. Whatever it is that we're doing, that moment comes. Aeneas Nen said it best. She said, and the day came when to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. That's what happens for us, isn't it? Have you been there before? You've been to that place, that edge, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay in this tight little space anymore. I have to break out. I have to blossom. I have to be willing to take the risk. And that's the day when the shame comes out of the shadow and into the divine light. And more of the truth of who we are than is known and felt and experienced and expressed. You are a unique soul made by a wise and loving source. In being that unique soul is absolutely essential to the world at large. It may not seem like it. You might think there's 8 billion of us. What does it matter if I just hide my light under a bushel basket, so to speak? It matters a lot, right? Because the world needs that light shining on the hill, as Jesus talked about. That world needs that bright beam of light that you are. And you can't be that bright beam of light if there are parts of you, gems of you, qualities of you that you're holding back, suppressing, limiting in some way. So if you are at that place maybe of wanting to blossom, or you're aware of some parts of yourself anyway that could be let out of the closet, so to speak, I want to encourage you today to let them out. Step out, open the door. I hear sighs. You don't have to wait till it's too painful to take the risk. You can go ahead and take the risk now. Take it in a safe space like this one. Take it in a place in community. Take your first step there. And then you can take another and another and another, and it becomes really easy then. Authenticity is the quality I chose when I was in ministerial school. We were invited to choose a quality at the very beginning that is kind of what we're opening to, what we want ministerial to school to be about, what we want these next couple years together to be about. And that can always be something we claim for ourselves. You know, we often get a white stone at the beginning of the year, where it's always worthy for us to take that time to reflect and to say, what is the spiritual quality I want to embody right now? So I'd say that authenticity, 24 years in the making, and it is still a work in progress for me. You know that feeling? We are always evolving, right? We are always evolving. It may seem like we never arrive, but we do have points of arrival on the spiritual journey. Essentially, though, the spiritual journey is more about evolving than it is arriving. And if we can embrace that and say, it's really about being in that ever-growing, becoming process, not about being a, finished product with a big bow, although we love it when those things happen. And there are those moments. During my sabbatical, there were moments where I felt completely returned to myself. It was like, wow. And that feeling is so good. It's so, wow, just moving around going, wow, I am myself. This feels pretty good. And when you are in that space, it's like there's such completeness, there's such wholeness, there's such sovereignty. We need nothing. It's like, wow, this feels really good. It's like all those little pieces of ourselves that we've cast out in every direction, right? The pieces that we rejected, the pieces of ourselves that we gave over because we gave our power to someone else, the pieces that we took on that weren't us at all. We were trying to be like Jimmy or Sally or Joey or whoever, instead of being ourselves. And so as we step in more and more, as we in my case, it was taking time apart, right? Taking time apart and recognizing, oh, all these pieces of me are everywhere. The pieces that we put out in service to others, right? To meeting other people's needs. We start getting really busy with that, don't we? Do you ever have that experience? You're taking care of, whatever, people in your home, your family, you're taking care of people at your work, and you're just running all over the place, and it's like all of a sudden you just go, where am I? Who am I? And then you breathe into that, and it's like all the pieces come back. It feels good to be whole. It feels good to be complete. And it might involve a little risk to get there. And every time you do it, it'll be worth it. So as we come back into our wholeness, as we come back to ourselves, as you can contemplate yourself and your journey, how about you? Where are you in that journey? Do you feel scattered? Do you feel like your energies are scattered, that bits and pieces of you have been given over? Do you feel whole and complete? What will it take for you to shift? Are you giving too much of yourself away? Are you giving your power over? Are you making somebody else's life your project? It's a disservice to them as well as to you if you are. Let yourself be whole, and then you can meet another in their wholeness. You can see their wholeness. Then we aren't looking through brokenness and seeing brokenness. Audre Lorde was an author and activist, and she self-described as Black, lesbian, feminist, warrior, mother. She said this, if I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. We don't want that, do we? We need to define ourselves for ourselves so we can be in that place of strength. How do you define yourself? I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and seek, because when we do that, we drop into spirit. And when we drop into spirit, we get the real wisdom. And as you breathe into that space that is the presence of the divine, you can ask yourself, what are my qualities? How do I show up at my best? Define yourself for yourself, so you don't get crunched up into other people's fantasies of who you are. We have to know who we are in our hearts, or we'll start negotiating ourselves with other people. Brene Brown says this, our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people. We carry those inside of our hearts. I know who I am, she says. I'm clear about that, and I will not negotiate that with you. Pretty powerful, isn't it? Can you feel yourself in that space of that last bit that's on the screen? I know who I am, I'm clear about that, and I will not negotiate that with you. It's a place to get to if we're not there yet. And so I want to invite you to drop back in, and I'll give you these words and say these to yourself if you wish. I know who I am. I'm clear about that. And I will not negotiate myself. I think unnegotiated souls are better at embracing and celebrating diversity. Because if you think about it, if you're not boxed in anymore, if you're not allowing others to define who you are and categorize you or ostracize you or whatever, tell you who you need to be, if you're freed of that, you're not going to want to imprison someone else in a box. You're not going to otherize other people or ostracize other people because you have no need anymore. You're not living in that little limited ego space anymore. You're living in a space of the fullness of who you are, the true self that you are. The true self you are is a unique soul, and the true self you are is the divine big S self, right? Because that's right behind that. That's that deeper look into that. So when we're returned then to our whole selves, we lose interest in that game. And we delight instead in the rainbow of diversity that is all around us. We delight in all the differences, allowing, expressing, and celebrating those as they are. And yet still, knowing all of this, we can slip into that divisiveness and separation consciousness and otherizing when it comes to certain aspects of life. There's a lot of that is present in our world today around ideology. But Audre Lorde brings us back again, and she says, we must recognize that difference is a reason for celebration and growth rather than for destruction. It's not our differences that divide us. That's the important thing we need to remember. It's not the differences that divide us. It's our ability to recognize and accept and celebrate those differences. So are there differences that you are allowing to divide and separate you from others? And can you find the bridge? Not about excusing bad behavior, not about not accountability, that's a totally different thing. But it is about finding the ways that you can be a bridge. And we've got those tools right here, right? Meditation, prayer, heart math, the ability to see the divine in one another. Diversity enriches us. It's a pot of gold in and of itself. When we are in a space of diversity, we are more curious, more interesting, more multidimensional. We're more multi-talented. We're more compassionate. We're more creative. And so it brings us all of those gifts. And basically, if you think about a rainbow, one single color does not a rainbow make, right? We need all those colors to have a rainbow, and we all love rainbows. We all want rainbows, don't we? I can't think of a single soul that wouldn't want to see a rainbow. And so it's that knowing, that delight, that magic, that joy to recognize it's the diversity that brings forth that to some degree. So diversity and inclusivity, these things go hand in hand, right? Inclusivity is a value we hold at Unity very closely. It's an attitude of welcome. It's an action. It's a way of being inclusive. As a spiritual practice, inclusivity then sees more deeply into oneness and holds that space of oneness. It's like we allow ourselves to be able to see in two different ways. One is I celebrate your unique soul expression. I celebrate the beauty of our diversity. And the other is I recognize we're all one. You know? So when people say, like, for example, oh, I'm colorblind. I didn't notice that you were another color. No, doesn't help. That's not good. Doesn't feel good to somebody. I haven't been seen is what that person will think. You're hurting my feelings. You have not seen who I am, which means you don't have any idea what my experience has been. So diversity, seeing in that way, is important, right? It's part of that celebration of all the expressions. And yet we can also hold that space of oneness. Jesus was a master teacher of inclusivity. And this is why Jesus is such a good teacher for unity, because his basic teachings were love, inclusivity, and the power to heal. If you've been around unity for a while, it's like, that's a pretty good summary. And so Jesus embodied inclusivity. He always included in his circle these people who were looked down upon in the culture of his day. Amongst his circle were tax collectors and prostitutes, Samaritans and Gentiles. Amongst his circle were lepers and women. I'm just saying. And women were a significant part of his posse. They were contributors and disciples. In fact, it's his closest companion was Mary Magdalene. Do you know when he and Mary Magdalene met, she had a mental illness? And that's what was meant by the 7 demons that were cast out, and she was healed. Some say Mary Magdalene became his wife, including our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. We don't know for sure, and that I don't want to sidetrack us too much. But the point is that Jesus was somebody who who celebrated the differences and saw the oneness, who celebrated and didn't distinguish between race and class and gender and so on in terms of being welcome, being included in the circle, and that oneness that is shared by all of us. He showed us how to see from the nature of the Christ within us. And he did that especially by telling us how. He said, "Judge not, lest you be judged." And he said, first remove the log from your own eye before you can remove the speck, or help remove the speck from your neighbor's eye. The log from your own eye. I mean, that is really something, isn't it? So in some versions, it's the plank, but, still pretty big. Still pretty hard to see past that, right? And what will we see when we remove that? What do we see when we remove the log or the plank from our eye of judgment? Everything. Yeah. I like that even better. I was going to say beauty. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but everything. Because that is, we see as God sees, right? We see the diversity, we see the beauty of the word, we see the truth, we see the spiritual truth that is beyond the physicality in the third dimension, and we bring it in. And we feel it, and we know it in our bones, and we say, wow, I am more than this. I am this body, and I am more than this. I am this mind, and I am more than this. I am this heart, and I am more than this. I am part of that whole divine love, pulsating love throughout the universe. I am part of the divine intelligence of the universe. I am the body of Christ, the body of all of us, the body of Mother Earth. Everything. Thank you. You just opened up everything. Yeah, when we are able to see, we see all of it. And when we see in that way, it brings us back to who we are. It's plain and simple, right? And when we are returned to ourselves, we are so much better for the world. It's so hard for us sometimes to wrap our heads around because we're so stuck in the physical ways of seeing things and the ego ways of seeing things. I have a need, you have a need, we're going to fulfill each other's needs. That's good. It's a part. It's a start. And it's so much more than that. Instead, it's like, I'm whole. Are you whole? Let's work on getting you whole because I'm feeling whole. I'm feeling complete. I want to hang out with folks that feel complete and whole. Because when we both feel complete and whole, we can just go out into the world and have fun. We can spot rainbows and chase them till we find pots of gold. And guess what? We're going to find the pots of gold when we are whole, when we are centered in the truth of who we are, because now we can see everything. Then we might have tripped over the pot of gold and we wouldn't even known it was there because it wasn't third dimensional. But now we're multidimensional beings because we stepped into the truth of who we are and we see as God sees. And so we can see everything. Yeah, it's good stuff, isn't it? Yes. So this journey is personal authenticity and celebrating diversity. And when we start in those two places, those rainbows of who we are individually and who we are as a collective, we follow them. And at the end of the rainbow of our personal authenticity, we find wholeness. And at the end of the rainbow of celebrating diversity, we find oneness. And oneness and wholeness are pots of gold that we can take to the eternal bank over and over and over again and be prospered the rest of our lives and the rest of our soul expressions to eternity. That's what it's about. So let's take the logs out of our eyes so we can see everything, who we are, who the person next to us is, who the people who yank our chain are, and the whole human family, and then all life and beyond. That's the journey we're on together. Let Unity be our laboratory. Let Unity be the place where we create heaven on earth, where people step in and they say, whoa, these folks are whole, and I feel a part. And I'm remembering now who I am. Can we be that together? We're going to have to get more seating. Let's affirm together. I have seen the rainbow of diversity and found the pot of authentic gold. I am unapologetically inclusive. I am truly me. And so it is.
Kristen, thank you. I was thinking about how when I am me and you are you, we see with the eyes of the divine, and what I see is the divine in you. I see the face of God in you. And as I stand here in front of my community, it's like this is where I feel known and valued and seen. It's where I feel called forth to give my gifts. We've got something really special here. Thank you. Thank you.
And let me just say a quick thank you to everything, because I heard the first talk and it was excellent at the 9:30 service, but that word lit you up in a different way.
Yeah.
Perfect. The timing could have not been better. It was a setup, I think.
And his poem also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide personal prayer support. And if you are a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. And our prayer chaplains wear the lavender stoles.
Whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful way to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Now where's Suzanne? Susan.
She's not
She always
here.
goes, woo-woo!
I know. The woo-woo is missing today.
But I invite
Thank
it's amongst us. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there are a variety of ways to give financially to this community. Excuse me. They are shown on the screen in front of you. And for those watching online, you can choose the donate button on the Watch Live page. We encourage everyone to avoid fees that go along with the apps by setting up giving or automatic giving through your bank's bill pay system.
So I invite you to take your tithe or offering into your hands and to repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
And in this song, it's all about giving thanks. It's in the Twi language, which is a very one of the most popular Ghanaian languages that it will also sing in English. And it just so happens that our drummer, Scott, just happened to have a Ghanaian drum in his trunk. So please, Scott, remind us the name of the
It's djembe,
djembe.
carved out of a tree from Ghana. Wow.
Out of a tree, what?
Ghana,
from
Is this on? Oh. Oh, well, in case you didn't hear. So that's a djembe. Djembe is an actual Ghanaian drum carved out of a Ghanaian tree, which he's going to play with Nathaniel and our bassist, and during this Ghanaian traditional song. But it's about thanks, and we will sing it in the Twi language as well as in English. Enjoy. If I turn around and you're not moving, I'm gonna come up to you, and we're gonna dance. I don't know what to do. Thank you. Thank you, party.
Beautiful. Very fun. Thank you for the drumming, too. Yeah. Look at these gifts. Wow. Thank you. I'll take those. Oh, we are so blessed. Each of us givers are blessed. Pots of gold we have for our generous hearts of giving. As we give, we truly do receive. As we give of ourselves, as we share of ourselves, as we share of our good, it comes back to us, multiplied 10 times and more. Let's bless it together, seeing that exponential growth happening right now through the blessings of our hands and hearts and words. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. Wow, you guys are full of energy today. We're just getting it in there.
We are a circle of love. We are a circle of light. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you and the light in me are one.
It should be, yes. Hi, I'm Allison. I'm subbing for Michelle. We had a good group of the kids today. I had the younger kids. We talked about connection today and feeling connected to people, places, things around us, and we all strung beads, and we were all connected. Your grandma was connected to my favorite place, was connected to, my favorite character from the game, and then we all made bracelets to show our favorite connection. And so, does anybody want to share what they feel connected? Your bracelet?
We made bracelets.
Yes, we did. What about you?
I made a bracelet for my friend.
For a friend, yeah. What about you, Phoenix? You want to talk? No? You want to see it?
Yeah.
Well, what do you?
This bracelet is for my mom.
Yes. So lots of connection today. Yeah.
Would you like to share? We'll read the poem afterwards. You want to talk about what we talked about? No? You could? Yeah, you could. Totally could.
We did this project where we wrapped ourselves in toilet paper and wrote on the back what we're afraid of, and then we broke out of it.
Whoa.
Grace now has a poem she's going to share with us.
Grace, you can come up here if you want and put the book down, if that's easier. Yeah.
This is a poem by Shel Silverstein in the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you are a pretender, come sit by my fire. For we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in.
Thank you. Wow, it's so, I say this, I think, every week, but I'm just going to keep saying it because I just so appreciate that we have two groups, and we have Allison and Mike here so frequently. Thank you for... You're growing our youth ministry, which is, expanding our present and our future. Well, let's bless our children, youth, and teachers together. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
We are going to close with the prayer for protection set to music by David Brooks. Please rise in body or in spirit. Join us.
Protects me.
You are the light and the love and the everything on earth right now. So let your light shine, have fun, and spread joy.